Evening, Charlie.
Good evening, Mayor. How are you tonight?
I am trying to catch up to this time zone.
I hear you. I guess you had a grand trip.
I had a grand trip, busy but productive.
There you go.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Hey,
How's everyone doing?
Hey, Tracy.
Hello.
All right. Hello, everybody. Looks like we're on. All commissioners and Mayor Pro Tem are present. It is 6:30. So before we get started with this meeting of the Board of Commissioners, going to have Barbie read a statement into the record since we are virtual again for public safety reasons, the uptick in the numbers of COVID and et cetera. Barbie, floor is yours if you'd like.
Good evening. I want to go over a couple of logistics regarding this meeting. For participants who may not be familiar with Zoom, please make sure to keep your camera on during the meeting and mute yourself when you're not talking. Board members, the mayor will be calling on each of you individually to provide comments and votes. When voting, please remember to identify yourself by stating your name and your vote. If you would like to speak at any point during this meeting, please raise your hand and be mindful of your background. If we are in the middle of a presentation and you are raising your hand but not being called on, please feel free to speak up. Most importantly, we want to make sure board members are able to participate in this meeting fully. If you experience any technical difficulties and are accidentally exited out of the meeting, please notify me via text so we can suspend discussion. Next, we will need to take the roll call. Please indicate if you are present. Mayor Ron Pappas. Mayor Pro Tem Brenda McMillon.
Present.
Commissioner Jason Hall.
Present.
Commissioner Ann Simpson.
Commissioner Ann Simpson, present.
Commissioner Tracy Westlick.
Present.
And Commissioner Pedro Morey.
Commissioner Pedro Morey, present.
Thank you. All members are present. Mayor, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Barbie. Appreciate that. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. So if we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll remain standing for a brief moment of silence right after. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, very good. Thank you, everyone. All right, tonight we're going to move down to item C, the adoption of the agenda. Any changes requested to tonight's agenda? All right, seeing no hands, may I have a motion, please, relative to approval of tonight's agenda as published?
Motion to approve as published.
Great, thank you. Roll call vote, please. Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson. Aye.
Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Westlake.
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Moore.
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Acting Mayor Pro Tem.
Brenda McMillon, aye.
Good. Tonight's agenda is approved as published. There are no general public comments tonight for tonight's meeting. We'll drop down to the consent agenda. May I have a motion relative to tonight's consent agenda, please?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, thank you. We'll take it from Commissioner Westlake. We'll go around the horn one more time. Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Brenda McMillon, aye.
Commissioner Westlake.
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Very good. Thank you very much. There are no presentations tonight, no public hearings tonight. We're going to jump down into item number I, old business. And this is going to be presented by our Planning and Inspections Director, Lisa Thompson. Lisa?
Mayor, 1 second. If we could go ahead and do the recognition of a new employee.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. My bad. All right, we'll go back up to, we'll go back up to recognitions, and that, Melody, is your turn.
Thank you, Mayor. So good evening, Board of Commissioners. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing to you our newest employee, Jamie Scales, who will be serving as the website and social media administrator for the town. Jamie has prior work experience as a marketing director and is well-versed in many aspects of her job. She will be working very closely with our communication and customer service team and has already developed a lot of great ideas with the team. Jamie comes to us from Mount Airy. She and her family are currently looking to relocate to the area. If there was an award for an employee who travels the farthest to get to work, I feel Jamie would be the winner. All joking aside, I look forward to seeing how Jamie will learn and grow with the town. Welcome, Jamie.
Jamie, welcome. Hello to the crowd.
Hi,
Are you
thank
driving
you.
on daily commute right now?
Yes, I am. Yes. So thank you for having me. I just want to say that I really appreciate the opportunity and express that we make.
Well, that was a little bit of a banjo play on that last dialogue, but we're happy to have you here on that team. I know it must be tough on the commute to get some good signals. So appreciate you being here. Welcome to the team. And on behalf of the board, we look forward to having you help us. So appreciate it. Very good. All right. I have to look at my own printout here. So we'll drop down through G and H, which there are no items underneath. So we'll go back down to item I, old business. So
Mayor.
now I will, yes, sir.
Mayor, if I may have a moment of personal privilege, before you actually get into the zoning, the next items on the zoning approvals, it might be a good time for me to jump in here with the second zoning 101 for the citizens and to discuss the relationship between the planning board and the board of commissioners before you actually get into the meat of those items. If that would be your privilege, your okay to do that.
I think
That's
Lisa,
fine.
that's up to you. Lisa's good with it. So Charlie, you have the floor for us.
Well, thank you very much.
I plan to put you in at a different spot, but you're okay there.
Well, my computer locked up, but can't get it unlocked, so I have to do this on my phone tonight, but I'll figure it out. But back to 101 zoning, I think the citizens should be aware of the relationship between the planning board and the Board of Commissioners, and this would be helpful to both boards as well. But basically, starts off with the planning board. The planning board takes initial action on zoning. They are an advisory body only. They are by statute set up so that they give advice only to the Board of Commissioners. They're not to give advice to any citizens or any citizens groups or anything. They study, and their responsibility under the statute is when there are zoning amendments, either to text amendments or to district amendments, mapping amendments, they are to look at those, study those, and their due diligence, maybe even visit properties if they desire. But they look only to see what the land use regulations are that are in existence today. Before any rezoning, they look to see what the existing zoning is around that surrounds the proposed district. They also will look to see and should look at only to see what the general comprehensive land use plan calls for that area to be. So that's their role. Their role is strictly to advise the Board of Commissioners. They will hear that at their planning board meeting. They will then vote, but their vote is only to recommend. They're not voting to approve or not approve. They're voting only to recommend whether to approve a particular zoning petition or to deny it. They then have 30 days to give that recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. If they do not get a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners within 30 days from the date they received it, then the board can take action whether they receive the report or not. Then when it comes to the Board of Commissioners, they take that as an item. They take that as only one item, however, in the board's authority to legislate zoning, because zoning is a legislative process. The planning board is not a legislative body. It's an advisory body. The Board of Commissioners is your legislative body. They have to take into consideration the entire general health, safety, and welfare of the community. In other words, the full gamut of all matters in terms of that zoning. It's more than just existing land regulations, but they're dependent on the recommendation from the planning board with a tunnel vision. What is it in terms of the current zoning and the current land use plan? But the board has freedom to zone it in any way they want to. They can zone it up, they can zone it down, they can zone however they want to, taking into consideration all the legislative factors that go into zoning. By the way, one legislative factor that does not go into zoning, you cannot consider ownership of the property. You only have to look at to see what is being built. In other words, you look at the use, you cannot look at the ownership. A lot of people worry about ownership. Is it going to be rented or is it going to be owner occupied? But that's not a consideration under the law that boards can consider as a part of their legislative authority. I just thought that's just a sidebar. I threw that in there. But the board then has the full gamut. The board can take action and they can either approve or not approve the petition. If it's a conditional zoning, in other words, a legislative zoning, then they can restrict the general zoning district by adding conditions that narrow the use or the standards that would apply to that zoning under that district. That's where people don't understand that a conditional zoning is more restrictive than the straight zoning. So tonight, the board will have the freedom to deal with these zoning issues. They then can vote on them, but the board does not have to and is not bound by the recommendation of the planning board. I think everybody needs to understand that, because I know from my experience in the past with other jurisdictions, the public has a real hard time wondering why the planning board makes a recommendation and then the board does something else. But the planning board is advisory. The Board of Commissioners is a legislative body and they are not bound by that recommendation. And I think that's what I wanted to get across tonight. The board has the freedom, and that is absolutely their authority and their duty to zone it according to the legislative general health, safety, and welfare of the community. And that is a short, Reader's Digest condensed version on the relationship between the planning board and the Board of Commissioners.
Well, thank you, Charlie. It's good to have that reminder in place. And if it wasn't clear before, hopefully it is more clear right now.
Well, I may have muddied the waters.
We'll have the discussion. Lisa, if you're ready, then we will jump over to you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I did this full presentation for this project last month at our public hearing, so I'm going to briefly run through some highlights here. The petition is a request for a general town zoning or map amendment from R40, which is Union County, to Neighborhood Center. Property is on Highway 16. This is south of Bonds Grove Church Road. Future land use map, which you all just adopted this past spring, designates the subject property as mixed use. The recommended zoning district for the property that coincides with the land use plan map is Neighborhood Center. At the July 19th meeting, the planning board recommended denial by a vote 4-2. They cited increased utility demands and further engineering studies needed. On the screen, I have their recommended land use plan consistency statement. Tonight, we're looking for 2 votes. One of the votes is the land use plan consistency statement. The statement must describe how the zoning proposed is consistent or inconsistent and explain why the proposed action is reasonable and in the public interest. Staff has provided the following statement that can be adopted or modified per your discussion this evening. The request is consistent with the 2016 comprehensive plan and future planning goals of the town of Waxhaw, and that is located on Providence Road corridor and has the utility infrastructure that can support a more urban development pattern. The mixed uses allowed in the area will buffer the property from the existing employment center zoning to the south and the R3 residential zoning to the north, and can provide for a mixture of housing types set in a walkable neighborhood. It is reasonable and in the public interest as it allows for density consistent with the recommended G3 intended growth sector and will allow for uses that can diversify the tax base and housing stock. We'll also need a separate vote on the rezoning itself. I did want to mention that staff did receive several public comments after that public comment period closed, and those were all sent to the mayor and commissioners via email. And with that, myself and the applicant, Jim Lineberger, is here to answer any questions.
Any questions to the applicant or to Lisa? And this is an initial zoning. And as I can remember, Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong, we can combine, if we choose to, combine the motion and the statement of reasonableness.
That's correct. You can put the consistency and reasonableness language in with the motion, either to approve or not approve the zoning.
Okay, thank you.
That's that can be done in one motion. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So any questions? I see Commissioner Simpson, you're up there. See your hand? Floor is yours.
Thank you. Actually, this is a question for Charlie. I know, Charlie, we did receive quite a few comments, and some of the main theming of that was traffic and congestion in terms of that project. Because this is an initial zoning and a zoning request, we are not allowed to consider anything related to traffic or water or sewer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we just have.
The reason that is you don't have a someone coming in seeking to actually apply for a permit or if they wanted to come in now, once you zone it and ask for their own change of zoning, they could do that. So we don't know what the use is going to be. And therefore, those legislative discussions are not relevant at this point. What you have to
So
look at-
we, just to be
That's
clear,
all
we
the-
cannot consider water, sewer, or traffic when we make the zoning decision, because those get addressed later on in the process when somebody comes back, when they decide to build something on that site?
That's correct. What you have to look at is all the potential uses that this property may be put to under the proposed zoning. And so that's what you're looking at. All the uses that may be permitted under this recommended zoning.
Okay, great, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Commissioner Simpson. Any other questions? I see the applicant is joining us online. Welcome, Jim. Good to see you here again. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I'm going to look for a motion on this one right now. End of discussion on it. So may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve petition RZ 01246-4-2021, and I'd like to combine the reasonable and consistency statement as published.
Very good. We need to read all of that back into the record, Charlie, or not? You're
You have to
muted.
unmute.
Sorry. As long as you refer back to the specific language that you're incorporating into it, then the clerk can put that into the minutes.
Very good. All right, everyone, thank you for that, Charlie. Appreciate that guidance. So we have a motion on the board right now to approve this general zoning petition RZ 01246-464-2021. So I'm going to go roll call. Commissioner Morey.
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Commissioner Westlake.
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McMillon.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
And back to Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Good. Thank you very much. The motion is passed 5-0. Thank you, everybody, for the long and arduous consideration on this. It's been a little bit of a journey all along, but true to the form of our all team effort, we've come to a good conclusion on this. So congratulations to the applicant, and we look forward to what happens next.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, we're going to move down to number 2 on old business, the text amendment petition, TA 01261020221. Again, the presenter is Lisa Thompson. Lisa, you have the floor again.
Thank you. Again, I'll be brief since we went over the detailed presentation at your last meeting. This text amendment is to add the composition and terms of office for the HPC and Planning Board into the Land Development Code, and to have the Board of Adjustment served by and consist of members of the Planning Board. The new language was added in bold within your staff report. During the July 19th meeting, the Planning Board made a unanimous recommendation to approve the text as presented. Again, we'll have to have 2 votes this evening, or 1 combined vote with the land use plan consistency statement. Staff has provided the following statement, which can be adopted or modified as needed per your discussion tonight. And then a motion to approve the text itself, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you, Lisa. This is, again, cleaning up things that we've already set in motion before. Any questions for Lisa, the presenter? All right, seeing no hands up there, I'm going to ask for a motion on this one as well. Who'd like to step up?
I'll make the motion, Mayor. I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the text amendment petition TA 01261020221 and combine it with the reasonableness and consistency statement as provided.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, we have that motion up on the board. I'm going to ask for a roll call vote. I'll start with Commissioner Maury again.
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Commissioner Westlake,
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Commissioner Simpson,
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Pro Tem McMillon,
Brenda McMillan, aye.
back to Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Very good. All right, this one passed 5-0 as well. Thank you again for the amount of work that's gone into this. We are going to continue to build that structure. So again, thank you for everyone's effort along the way, including counsel by Charlie. So appreciate a lot of work that's gone into this. All right, we're going to go to appointment of the members of the Waxhaw Historic Preservation Commission. This is item J under new business. The presenter is Melody.
Mayor Lisa Thompson here. I'll take this one.
Okay.
Now that we've approved the text amendment with the last agenda item, we'll need to reestablish the HPC board. We'll need to reappoint members to the board. So tonight we're looking for a motion to reappoint members of the HPC with terms expiring as presented.
That seems pretty simple. Go on, any questions for Lisa? Across the board, everybody's done their homework, which is a good sign. I like it. All right, we're going to move swiftly here. We'll go ahead and look for a motion on this one. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor, to approve the appointment of members to the HPC and their terms as listed in the report.
Very good. Motion's up. I'm going to go roll call. We'll go be consistent today. How about Commissioner Maury?
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Commissioner Westlake?
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Simpson?
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Pro Tem McMillon?
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Back to Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
Good, thank you very much on that. This will be a continuum. We're unanimous on that one as well, but we're working on all of these, the strengthening of all of our boards and commissions. So thank you very much for all the input along the way. All right, we're going to jump down to the town leadership reports. I'm going to pass this one over to our town manager, Jeffrey Wells. Jeff, you're not squirrel voice, so it's you.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. And just as we have now moved back to virtual meetings for the foreseeable future, I just wanted to give an update of where we are case-wise in Union County. Thought it would be a good time to do that. This is based on data from Union County's dashboard as of this past Friday. It's updated every Friday. 986 active COVID cases in Union County with a positive test rate of 11.9%. The community transmission of the virus is categorized into 4 different levels, and our current level is red, which is the highest of the 4. And there are currently 20 hospitalizations. So I just shared that just to make sure everybody is mindful that it is obviously still out there. We anticipate the census numbers coming out starting tomorrow. They should have a release from August 11th through the 16th. So either by the end of this week or by hopefully the latest early next week, we will know our latest population numbers as well as housing statistics, race and ethnicity statistics, and everything above that comes with the census. So we are very eager to get those numbers in the next few days. And lastly, we are still accepting applications for Waxhaw 101. Understand that we have 15 that have been applied and have been accepted to this point. So certainly want to encourage folks that are listening out there, and we will do a couple of more social media blasts and things like that to see if we can get a few more applicants out there. But just want to remind everybody that it is an interactive program that's designed to educate our residents about our local government, specifically about our town processes and policies and services. We have 9 scheduled sessions through the fall, starting September 1st and running through the end of October. So hopefully we'll be able to get a few more applicants, though we have a good crowd now. We always can use more. So that's all I have this evening. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Jeff. That program is a highly rated program by everybody who has attended it. I certainly encourage all the residents who may be listening tonight with us today or have dinner conversations in a future date. It's a great program where you can learn about how the town operates, and it is, as the town manager stated, it is interactive. So it's not a listen, it's a Q&A a lot of times too, and a lot of great information comes out of there. So we're at 15 right now. I'm hoping that we get much more. We are open. If I remember right, Melody, we're leaving it wide open to see how many we can fill in the PD's conference room. So that'll be good to hear if we get some more. And that starts September 1st, correct?
That's correct.
Outstanding. All right, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that update. Anybody want to take lottery bets on the population number? Maybe we should hold a little side bet on that. So let's see what we get. Kick it over 20.
Over under 20,000. That's where it starts.
Well, we'll get some. We'll have to figure that out later. All right, we're going to move on to Dina. You got a presentation for us tonight. So welcome again. I don't see the bridge behind you, so different background. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I always have to, be a surprise for you. All right, so I'm going to go over all the awesome things that are happening in Waxhaw and programs and events and give you some updates on some projects that we have been doing around town. So there we go. So we're in the summer program guide until September, and then we start a new one starting in October to December. And hopefully in January, we'll go back to the 6 months. We're gonna, I hope and pray that COVID calms down a little bit more so we can do that. But we're really excited. We are using all protocol with COVID for indoor events and outdoor events. Walking clubs every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Please join us. Miss Justine has a great crew on those mornings. We also have our charcuterie class coming back. Please join us for that next week. Senior Coffee Club is back. Again, we're using all protocol and they are meeting next week as well. And then following into August, we have a glass fuse class for them as well. So come and join us. Little chefs are back as well. We've got Mary O'Neill's chef joining us on teaching the kids. And then Miss Kristen at 8 Legs is definitely helping us with the pottery classes. Hero Project, we're taking this week off. We have some staff doing vacations. We'll be back next week and they're off to space. So please join us for that. Remember to sign up ahead of time so we can have the amount of supplies needed. And then we're doing a safari on the next one. And remember to sign up, and the website has our full list of where we're going to be for the rest of the summer. Events are well on their way, and please check out our Facebook page plus our website to know when and where they're happening. This Friday afternoon, we are having the PED plan public input session. It's going to be coinciding with the Jamming by the Tracks. We're going to be under the water tower, water tank area with some awesome tents and some refreshments. Please join us to give your input of the pedestrian plan for this upcoming couple years. This is where we learn how to connect and where we need our greenways and sidewalks for the future. So please come and join us early, right before the Jamming Valley Tracks at 5:30. We need your input. So hope to see you there. Jamming Valley Tracks is at 7 o'clock. Had an awesome band ready to get you to move and groove, and some great food trucks. So please come and join us. Back to School Bashes this Saturday. So the partnership with some of our community builders and our police department. That is on Saturday from 11 to 2. We're still looking for volunteers. So if you want to call the Park and Rec office, we will put you into a yellow vest and get you volunteering. Oops, daisy. The next coming up event is the Jamavai Tracks on August the 27th, and we're having a community mural that night too. So please come and join us. And please save the date for Patriot Day, 9/11 event. This is the 20th year anniversary, and we've got lots of surprises. And to make this really over and beyond because of the 20-year anniversary of the event. So please join us for that day. And then we also have a skate park event coming up that following week. Projects that's been happening around town. So we got a wonderful donation of a bench that we placed in the Dare Steel Garden. So that's a new addition to downtown. The butterfly, Miss Ann, it's up, and go take a selfie. We are waiting on the girls to get back from all their little vacations for do a group picture there, but I'll be able to show that in a different time. But I wanted to give you all a heads up that is up, and the plaque is there for our citizens to enjoy. We have added doggy trash bags at key locations on the trail and in our parks to help out with that cleanup and extra trash cans. The park crew has also did some upgrades at the skate park with drainage. That was totally awesome. It looks great and a lot cleaner look. And we also added a bench behind the McDonald House with one of our art bike racks. We're adding signage to the area so they'll realize that it's a bike rack and not just a metal piece. So that is also new additions to our town. So I didn't have this information before, but we're closer to 80% on the construction documents for downtown. So we're super excited. We're moving along. Lots of things that happened in the last 2.5 weeks. So we're getting closer for those golden shovels. So I'm excited. And when I know more, I will definitely pass it along. Again, volunteerism is a key component of Park and Rec. Please join us for these wonderful locations for Adopt a Space and volunteer with our events and programs. Looking for those awesome partners for programs for instructors. Social media came out with so please pass it along to your friends that we're looking for great instructors for the fall. And I'll leave you with our vision and mission always. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Great. Any questions for Miss Dina? I'm going to say that we're all wondering what you do in your spare time. You've got quite a full agenda going here, and that's impressive. So I will say personally, thank you for what you do for the town and all the events and in and out of COVID requirements and restrictions and not, but we're looking forward to the adjustment. We're certainly, I guess, experienced in going through some of this stuff. So we just keep moving the ball forward. So thank you. And I am looking forward when we get the full CDs for the park and can move on to that ceremoniously in maybe September, late September. So appreciate that. Jamming at the Tracks this week, correct? Do we know the name?
So it's the Dixie Revival is the band, but come early so you can go to the pet plan tent. I need your input for that. So yes, but we're gonna have a great time on Friday night.
And everybody encourage all your friends as well to come over there. Are you gonna have a booth set up? Is that the way it's gonna work?
Yes, sir. So we'll have 2 tents under the water tank tower area with balloons, so you'll know where I'm at. And then we've got everything set up with them so everybody can be still socially distanced, have all the protocol in place, but we'll have project boards so you can put on the maps where you feel that trail connections needs to be, greenways, sidewalks. This is your time to, I can't stress this enough, please come out and give us your input.
That's terrific. Well, certainly encourage everybody that you know to come over and do that. I was, when I was traveling this last couple of weeks, the area that I was in had about a 10-mile, probably a 12-foot wide asphalt pavement section all over the town. It was awesome. It was awesome. I walked it almost every day, so very handy to have. So I appreciate that. Any comments, thoughts, questions for Dina? Across the board, we're all quiet tonight. All right, thank you, Dina. I appreciate all you do as well. If you need some setup, we'll probably all be hanging around the days this weekend that you need some help. So feel free to reach back out to us.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Very much. All right, any thoughts, comments, additional comments by anybody on the board? This is your time.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir. Commissioner Morey.
just real quick, we might want to announce that more than one of us or two of us or three of us might be at Friday's event, just for the sake of meeting laws and such.
Very good. Appreciate that. I think Melody's probably captured that right now. And I know we're doing a couple more of those things, or she'll have to put out, Melody and Barbara will have to put out some notices. So thanks for that reminder. We'll make sure that we get that covered. We might have to get that at almost every event the way it's going. So we'll pay attention to it. Thank you, Pedro. Appreciate that. Any other comments for the good of the board and good of the town? Any more? Very good. Charlie, thank you very much for all of your input tonight and prior to this. It's been good to have such a valuable player on our team. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board.
Very good. All right, there isn't anything on the closed session for tonight, so I am looking for somebody to stick their hand up and make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, that was quick. Okay. All right, roll call vote on that. Commissioner Westlake.
Commissioner Westlake, aye.
Morey.
Commissioner Maury, aye.
Commissioner Simpson.
Commissioner Simpson, aye.
Pro Tem McMillon.
Brenda McMillan, aye.
Back to Commissioner Hall.
Commissioner Hall, aye.
I'm Robin. Thank you, everybody. It's a wrap tonight. We'll look forward to all the things we have going on in the future. Be good, everybody.
Good night, everybody, and be safe.